another segment of Top TV where we bring ideas that truly matter to you. Today we have the pleasure of interviewing Samantha Manclark of Speaker's Corner. Sam, can you please tell our viewers who is Samantha Manclark?
Well, I'm the founder of Speaker's Corner, and that was a good 16 years ago. And in a way, I guess it's defined partly who I am. But the rest of me is a person that loves creativity, loves knowing what's going on in the world, loves new endeavors, new technologies, and I'm an avid cook and a real foodie.
Wow, that's great. So as the founder of Speaker's Corner, what are your daily routines? What is your role as the founder of Speaker's Corner?
Well, my role as the founder and also MD of Speaker's Corner is really to make sure that everyone is on par with what the vision is of the company. We have two distinct divisions. One is an events division and one is the PR side of things. And everyone needs to know the direction that we're going in, what our values are, you know, what the company is about, and we all need to be moving in the same direction. In the case of our business, it's a small business, which means I'm also often packing boxes and answering the phone, and I'm at events, and I'm in the ghettos.
In the ghettos. So in 1996, what inspired you and motivated you to establish Speaker's Corner?
Look, my very first boss and mentor in PR was a lady by the name of Jeannie Besbeer. And I worked for her for a couple of years before she retired. And I guess I'd always known that I wanted to open my own company or do my own thing, have my own business. And when she retired, it kind of, you know, when certain doors close, other doors open. And in my mind, I just thought, well, let me give it a try and see where it goes.
So you just explained that Speaker's Corner is the two divisions, the PR and the events. In my opinion, there are a lot of misconceptions about what PR is.
Yes.
What would you say PR is and what the role of a PR practitioner is?
I think, you know, the role that, the very basic description is that it is a communication between a brand or a company or a person and their specific target audiences. And that's the textbook, definition. You know, having been in the industry for a long time, there's a lot that you learn along the way. I've learned along the way that the relationship between, you know, me and my client, the people that I deal with, is halfway there. It's 50% of what matters, that kind of connection in understanding each other. Because the important thing is for me to understand the message that the client or the brand needs to take to its target audiences. And then it's about really thinking about that, understanding that audience and crafting the message and putting it out in the channels that are relevant to those people. And I think that, so it is about creating a clear message and creating that awareness for a brand or a company. That's essentially what PR is. But it is often underestimated in its power. It's often at the bottom of the pile in terms of a company's kind of marketing mix. And I think that has been changing over the last few years, and it's good to see. Because it has a very engaging quality to it. It's the start of a conversation. It's the start of engaging, or an engagement between a target market and a brand in ways that, and no offense to an above-the-line campaign, they're all things in the mix that are necessary. But in PR, it is that conversation, and it is a closer engagement with your target market where you can get quite creative and learn a lot from each other.
Yeah. And over the years, you've worked with a lot of brands. Could you just give us a snippet of some of the brands that you've worked with, and give us, what would you say your highlights are in working with those brands, which are one of those brands were one of the best that you worked with or you really enjoyed working with?
Okay. We really have been fortunate enough to work with fantastic brands and still do.
Yeah.
And we're very, very grateful for that. Some of the highlights, very, very early on in the business, I was fortunate enough to work on Nelson Mandela's birthday parties, which were done for kids, generally from homes across the country. And I handled the PR for that, and I was really very wet behind the ears. I was still quite new in running my own thing. And I had to manage 100 media at these birthday parties, 50 of them international, 50 of them local, so a nice mix. And those really kind of, gave me a massive amount of experience, and it was just a great experience in itself, just working on anything to do with Mandela. So that was a real highlight for me, and that was early on. One of the things I'm really grateful for was for a man by the name of Ernie Joubert, who at the time ran a business called Global Resorts. And in the very first year of Speaker's Corner's existence, he put his faith in us, and about 12 years later, we were still managing the PR for Global Resorts and Peermont, who owns Emperor's Palace and 16 other resorts. Yeah. We don't do them anymore. I mean, sometimes the lifespan of a client relationship, has a limit, and it did for us. But we experienced a lot. We grew with the client, and we did some really, really great work. I think other brands that stand out is certainly Heineken. We've had a long relationship with Heineken over the years, and seen the brand grow in the marketplace over the time that we've worked on it. We did some great events, and we did some really good PR work for the brand, and that really stands out for me as being fun. I was a lot younger then as well, so it was fun working on that kind of brand. And I think for now, probably, and we all change as we get older, and we change as we gain experience. And I think for us, our focus is really on working with brands and clients that make a difference in the world. We are big believers in the philosophy of Nelson Mandela Day, that we all have an influence with people around us, that there's people in our close proximity that need a break, that you can influence their lives in a positive way. And so we like to do that in our own capacity. We like to do it as a business with the people around us and the people that work for us and with us. And we also like to do it with clients that have a like-minded philosophy. And one of those is a brand called 46664 Fashion. And it's a vibrant, energetic fashion brand. It's the love of our lives. And I think that, one of the things I wanted to say about PR is that if you love what you're working on, if it excites you to wake up every day because the brand you're working on, or the project you're working on, or the company you're working with is exciting for you, and you learn and you're doing some good in the world through it, then half the battle is won. In fact, there is no battle, because it doesn't feel like work. It is a joy to do, and you will do great work working on something you love. And so this brand really is, we have a love affair with this little fashion brand, and it won't be little for too long, but it is a fantastic brand. It is purely 100% South African. It's going global, and we're a big part of that project, and we love it.
It's been really exciting.
Yeah, it has.
In closing, Sam,
Yes.
would you please give our viewers within the PR and events and communications industries just a bit of your advice about the industry, how to keep up with the trends, how to stay motivated within this industry and stay having that enjoyment of what you do. Like you just said, if you enjoy it, you'll love it, it won't feel like work. How do you keep that up?
I think if you're in a lucky position where you can choose clients that resonate with you, choose brands and projects that resonate with you, that's a big step, I think, because when you do wake up and you do love what you're doing and you do love the brands that you're working on, it does make a huge difference. Be a good person in what you do, because it will always stand you in good stead and will always come back to you. Treat your colleagues with respect, treat your clients, your suppliers, everybody with respect. And I think at the end of the day, do something that's going to make a mark on the world. And so with us, we've had our clients and we have had the brands that we've loved working on, and we've really drilled deep into their brand and really immersed ourselves in the brand and understood the brand, and that also helps a lot when you're working with a brand. But I think also if you do have your own company, if you can create a project for yourself, it might be a project that's just a little foundation, or a little project that's going to help one individual or one organisation, or create one message out there, whether it be an anti-litter campaign or something that's going to help somewhere along the line. Have a pro bono account, or have your own little project that you can call your own, that you don't charge money for it, but it does some good in the world. I really think that is part of what keeps us going and keeps us loving what we do.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to interview you, Sam. It was a great pleasure.
Absolute pleasure, and good luck.